Uh, Yummy. All right, let's get started a bit late. Sorry, guys. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Maddog Merv. And I apologize for starting late this morning. I'd really like to say that because I was up late having a great time and all that, I just slept in, but that wouldn't be the truth. The truth is, the reason I don't do a lot of, hey, Elia, how are you, kiddo? It's good to see you. I miss you too. I miss seeing you guys, and you and Dave need to come over, and we need to have a movie night, like soon, real soon. I realize why we can't do it at his house for a while. Good reasons. So, but I do. Hey, Chris, it's good to see you, my friend. Hope all is going well for you. So this morning, yes, party time, definitely. We need a Halloween party, Elia. So just so you know, I got up early and I knew that I needed to meet my son. Now, many of you know that I have a son who is homeless. He suffers from severe paranoid schizophrenia and can't get the treatment that he needs in today's wonderful, politically correct world. And has been in and out of shelters. We've had family that have tried to help and house him, and that's been a complete crap show. So right now he's on the street. I meet him every morning, make sure that he gets his medication, and make sure that he's got some food. Yeah, it it's a lot of effort, and it's a cost. But you know what? He's my son. He's my responsibility, even though he's 30 years old. And so I do my best to take care of him. So I got done with taking care of the daily routine with him. Wound up having my teenage daughter is ill. So I needed to run by the store, get a few things to get some soup made, and hence why I'm running late today. So this is my first cup of coffee. And by the way, Elia, since you're watching, see this? I have some Dunford jelly donuts. Back in high school, my buddy Mark and I, that was our favorite thing during school lunch. Yes, school lunch used to actually be good and used to actually have really cool things like jelly donuts. And needless to say, you'd have to spend a little money to get a second donut. But it was funny because during the school year, I'd always pack on 5 or 10 pounds. And then in the summer, I'd lean out a little bit. It was all because of those jelly donuts. Man, they were good. Anyway, for today's shout out, I can't remember the name of the channel. It starts with a D. And when I get a chance, I'll put it in the description and probably mention them again next week. But I've been looking at a lot of channels lately that do replicas of movie props. And this one guy, he does a replica of the tablet from Raiders, not Raiders of the Lost Ark, the third Indiana Jones, I can't remember what it is now, the Last Crusade. And not only does he make this out of foam and it looks excellent, I mean, it would be a challenge for me to try and replicate that. But he has the tools to do it. Anyway, then he resin casts. He makes a mold and he resin casts this thing. So I can just imagine the cost of the RTV alone, and let alone the resins. So it's a beautiful piece. Man, it's expensive looking to build. But as soon as I remember, I'll put it in here, and you guys can check out his channel. Really, really cool stuff. Some of these movie props that people are making. And the reason I bring that up is because of the current projects I got going, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So what did we do on the channel last week? What did we do? I can't even remember. Had something to do with that. I can't remember now. I remember we did the 33 Willies. That was recent. But well, maybe it'll come to me. See, I didn't do any research this morning. I didn't check anything out. I'm just going on what is up here. And trust me, what's up here is a jumbled mess of things. So what's important is what's coming up on the channel. So tomorrow, by the way, happy Patriots Day weekend. Tomorrow is here in the US known as Patriots Day. And it is definitely, it's like Pearl Harbor Day. It's a time to reflect. Where were you when it happened? What are your memories of when it happened? And, different things like that. It's, to this generation, it's our Pearl Harbor Day. Anyway, tomorrow on the show, I've debated on which way to go. So there's, I need to do an old school piece really soon. If I don't do it this week, it'll be next week. But I've been working on this Baldwin Motion Camaro ever since I did the review on it. I've been working on it, and I've got to a point where I got the paint on and I got the decals on, and I kind of wanted to go over with you guys. Oh, there's our friendly squirrel. He's headed to the telephone pole. Funny little thing. I wanted to show you guys how I do decals. Now, most people will give you a tutorial on the proper way to do decals. And watch those. They're great. You will learn a lot. Not so much from watching me do decals. Because with me, so you notice what you see is what you get. A lot of other channels will have these nice antiseptic tables that they work on their project. And these beautiful hobby rooms, and whatnot. You don't get that here. You get what it is what it is. If I got a bunch of crap sitting on the bench, you're going to see it. If I got a bunch of projects sitting in the background, you're going to see it. And because I have kind of a small area to work in, and I have thousands of different items. So just in paint colors alone, hundreds of paint colors, all these different glues, all these other adhesives, all sorts of crafting stuff, all sorts of brushes. Anyway, because I'm as organized as I can be in the space I've got, sometimes I can't find everything I want to build with. So for example, I would use microsol solvent and their setting solution. That's what I usually would use. And if I was going to do a tutorial on how to do decals, I'd get out the tweezers and I'd get out the, all of this just antiseptic and, great tutorial for y'all. And again, if you want one of those, check it out on somebody else's channel. If you want to see how I do it, which is, oh crap, I can't find this. Oh crap, I can't find that. Well, I'm not running all the way to the hobby store and burning up half my day just to get started on this project. I'm going to get started on it. So I go ahead and use what I've got at my fingertips at the time. So that's what you'll see tomorrow, is how I do decals. And they actually turn out pretty good. So this car is really starting to look good. So hopefully you'll join me for that tomorrow on Patriots Day. And then for the stash this week, so last week we had the Mustang, the Boss 351. I didn't really realize, I just saw this new tooled kit coming out, okay? I didn't realize that it really was the Boss 351. I mean, I should have just read the box, but I'm so excited to have, a retooled Mustang. And I figured, in my brain, Mach 1, because that's all you ever see is the Mach 1, not the ultra rare Boss 351. And there was a difference between the Boss 351 and the Mach 1 for sure. So there's a tail panel piece. I'm going to see if I can scrounge that from the old MPC 73 kit. We'll see when I do the build, because I need a Mach 1. I need a 71 Mach 1 to do what I want to do. So when I get into that build, I'll take you guys with. It should be a lot of fun, and it should be a really neat model. But of course, I can't just build it straight from the box. You know, heaven forbid. I got to build it my way. But coming up on the channel, I have a 70 Boss 302 that I can review, or I have that 88 millimeter pack howitzer from AFE Club. Finally, I think I'm going to get around to going ahead and doing that one this Thursday. So we'll probably look at that, and then we'll look at the Mustang in another week. So what's been going on here in, look at this, look at all this crafting stuff. So I've been busy with the Halloween things, meaning I've been making aliens. So remember in the show, that's what it was. It was Halloween season. That's what it was, the Halloween season kickoff that we had last Monday. And in that video, you see a pumpkin and some other things that I'm going to turn into aliens. Well, I'm more than halfway through the project. I've already built my my alien spaceship, and it turned out okay. I do need to put some lights in it, and it'll be better. I've got three because I did one yesterday. I got 3 of these aliens built. They take a good solid 4 to 6 hours to build, and depending on how impatient you get, being a modeler, I'm very impatient. So sometimes the glues don't dry as quick as I want them to. Sometimes things don't hold the way I want them to. And I'm dealing with some materials that I've never dealt with before. There you go. Again, on this channel, I'm going to do a lot of things for the very first time and bring you with me so you can see the reality of things. On these aliens, so I get this idea, and somebody turned me on to a video. So I go to this video on YouTube. I'm not even going to mention the channel or anything else about it, because I'm so angry, and you can't say negative things on you know, YouTube in the way of comments. But it's a well done video as far as, oh wow, this is neat, and it inspires you. The problem is, it's really fake. In other words, they don't give you a lot of the information that you really need to build this project. They don't give you a lot of the information on what you really need to display this project. Oh no, it's and I'll say it here. It's my channel, I'll say it. You get these 3 trophy wives who have this great idea to do some cutesy little arts and crafts. Okay, so that's what they do. And I fell prey. I went ahead, got all the stuff I was supposed to. Took me a while to figure some of it out, because, oh, this is all stuff that you should have in your garage. Well, yeah, if you're a billionaireess, I guess you would, you know, probably. But for the rest of us that need to go to the dollar store and get pool noodles, or, you know, hunt all over for some of the things we really need for the project, it is time consuming, and believe it or not, it's a lot more expensive than they lead on. These little critters, once I get it all added up, I'll let you know when I do the video. But yeah, they aren't cheap to build like they lead on that they are. And not being a quote crafter, I'm a modeler, not necessarily a crafter. So there's some new materials here for me, like a pool noodle. Okay, it's blown plastic, right? Should be easy enough to figure out. No. You gotta, what I did figure out is you gotta use a special paint. Still don't know what that special paint is. Or you've got to find the exact color of pool noodle and match everything to that pool noodle. That's the best way to do it. That's not what I did. Again, it wasn't in that instructional video. So figuring it out, it's the thing, when you watch my video, it may not be the highest quality, I work in a cramped area, but you're going to know what it's going to take if you want to do this project. It's turned out good, but there's been a lot of problems. So we'll talk about that when I get into that video. I've been shooting a lot of video for it, and that'll be coming up sometime this next month, obviously. So, but I've been working on that. Been doing some work on the Camaro, the Baldwin Motion Camaro. What else have I been doing? I haven't done anything with that skull. I ordered some different spray adhesives so I can try my very first hand at doing some corpsing, and unfortunately the adhesives haven't come yet, which is fine because I got plenty else to do. But that skeleton coming out of the painting, I'm really looking forward to getting that one done. And the skull, so far I'm just really impressed with the transformation I've done with just a few things. So I'm really excited to get more done on that and see how it turns out. That painting ought to be a whole lot of fun. This week, I met my friend Mark on Thursday, and we usually go to lunch on Thursday. And he was telling me about Home Depot, that they had just sent him an email about all the cool Halloween stuff they've got. So immediately went to the website and saw this one thing. It's a bartender, because he was telling me about it. He said, yeah, they have this bartender, this dead bartender. It's really cool. It's called Dean the Deathologist. Went and saw him in person. I went, gotta have him. I'm building a bar downstairs, gotta have him. So I picked up Dean the Deathologist. Came home, put him together, went through all of his, he's got like 5 different sayings, and he's really cool, actually. I think he's more something that you would put at your bar year round than just Halloween, because his sayings really aren't Halloweenish. They're cool. But he went through his whole spiel and all of the lights and animation and stuff, and then I replugged him into another unit, and he quit working. Called customer service. They were on it, boom, like that. They had me check a couple of things, which I had already done. I redid it for them, and that didn't work. They said, okay, we're sending you out a new control unit. And I'm like, wow, that was quick. So I've already got the tracking on it. I should have that this week, let's hope. And then I can introduce you guys to Dean the Deathologist very soon. Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on right now. This whole getting everything ready for Halloween. I got some more. So in my house, I put up my little pirate stuff. So my Forgotten Prisoner, the Duel of Death, or whatever it is. Those little Lindbergh, like 1/12 scale pirate things that I had built in the last few years, the Jolly Roger series. My Reaper that I built last year, my Mobius Reaper, built him last year. Anyway, I had to get these out and repair them because they're all models. They all get a little bit of damage to them. So I got them repaired, put them in the house, and while I was doing that, I ran across my pirate medallions that I made last year. I gotta have more of these, especially for this skull that's going to be coming out of the painting. I want it to be a pirate coming out of the painting, dead pirate. And so I started using my castings and trying to cast some more of these medallions. Unfortunately, my RTV is old, or my resin is old. It didn't work out very well. They turned out really soft. I ordered some new type of resin that I could get next day online. It's a clear resin. Thought I would try it out. It takes about 18 hours to set up and cure, which I don't like. But for some reason, it grabbed everything in that mold and just ripped it right out. So completely destroyed my ability to use that mold ever again. So I'll have to make a new master if I ever want to make some more of those medallions. So anyway, I was working on one of those this week. to go with the other ones I've already got. So yeah, just a lot of Halloween stuff going on here. A lot of repairs to the aliens that I've already gotten. I put them outside, and the weather, you know, Utah weather sucks. Yeah, it's beautiful and nice now, but by this afternoon there'll be a flipping hurricane, blowing through here, and that's part of the problem. Is we get these high winds, and when you've got a parasol that is has been turned into a UFO, well, the wind grabs that and just carries it away. So I've had to try to anchor this umbrella into the ground better, so it doesn't keep blowing away, because every time it blows over, something breaks on it. So it's been a learning curve. Same with these aliens. They sit out there in the sun and you think everything's fine and dandy. All of a sudden there's an arm laying on the ground. Why is this arm on the ground? So anyway, I digress. That's what I've been doing lately, is working on all of these Halloween projects, full steam ahead on them. Been beautiful weather here. We've been in the 80s up to the low 90s this last week, but the mornings have just been awesome. In the 60s in the morning, hardly a cloud in the sky most of the time, and just beautiful. September is really a beautiful month here in Utah because it's cooled down a little bit. You usually will get about 4 or 5 days of rain somewhere along the line, and other than that, it's just a beautiful, nice month here for once. By the way, I was going to tell you guys, I've got my raspberries have just exploded. I went through and picked a whole cup full the other day. One of these mugs, filled it completely up, and here I am today looking at it going, I got a bunch of raspberries I need to go pick. Again, nice problem to have, huh? Especially if you like raspberries. All right, guys. Well, again, I'm really sorry that we are late. Cruella? She's trying to get in the trash. And being this close to the airport, of course, we have, incoming aircraft. So, tomorrow, take a few minutes. Remember where you were on September 11th, because it did affect the whole world, and it changed our whole world in several ways. I know that's one thing I'll be doing. I will share this with you real quick. That morning I was late for work, just a couple minutes, but all of my heavy duty work had to happen when I first got there in the mornings. My schedule was really heavy laden so that I could get things done that were very important and needed to be done before everybody else got there. And that's why I would usually stop and pick up some espresso, coffee with espresso. So I started drinking that, was so I would have that extra, boost, so I could do 3 hours worth of work in an hour. And literally, that's what was going on. September 11th, I remember I missed the first plane because I was listening to the radio, get out of the car, get in the building, turn the alarm off. I was the head custodian at Beacon Heights Elementary. I get in, turn the alarm off, get some lights turned on, and I make my route through the building, turning on lights, unlocking doors. And I get to the cafeteria where I needed to set up everything for breakfast. And as I'm doing that, I turned on my radio. And I can't remember if at the time I was using my Walkman or if I had an actual radio in the cafeteria. I want to say it was my Walkman. But I turned that on, I'm setting things up, and I hear about this, a plane has, struck the World Trade Center. And I go back in time thinking about when that B-25 bomber hit the Empire State Building back in the late 40s. And I remember that, or back in the 40s, I can't remember when it was exactly, sometime in the 40s, a B-25 had hit the Empire State Building. And so I was thinking about that, thought, oh wow, this is, probably some kind of navigational error, or, student pilot or something. And then they talk about it's a commercial airliner, perfectly clear day, and it's like, wow, that's really strange. All of a sudden, poof, a second plane hits the building. and they break in on the news, and actually, oh my gosh, the second plane has hit the other tower. And that's when I knew, oh my gosh, there's some kind of an attack going on. But I got through my rounds, got everything set up, did all the stuff that I was supposed to do that morning, but continued to listen to the news to see what was going to happen. I remember our principal coming in. She was quite rattled by it. She talked to some other principals. They had talked about having the schools go into lockdown, individual schools going into lockdown. I don't know why. Abundance of caution or whatever. But, I listened to the play-by-play as the different dominoes dropped, the different attacks happened. And I remember every TV in that building being on and people just watching what was going on for a while. And then, of course, school starts and they get the kids in and they do all the things they needed to with the kids. But several of us, the office folks, the library folks, myself, we were all right on top of, every second of what was going on. So I had one of my employees came in that afternoon and he was, Cruella, put it down. And he was in absolute tears. Like, Frank, what's going on? And he was just so sad about the attack. Cruella! Cruella! So, anyway. Hey, folks, I'm going to let you go. I got to get this away from my puppy. We will talk to you again. See you on tomorrow's show. And we'll see you on the Stash this week. Take care.